top 4 things to do first on every map in SnowRunner. Hello there everybody, and welcome to a special review of SnowRunner here at Overfed Gaming. I am the Overfed. We got a special review here of my top 4 things to accomplish at the beginning of every map in SnowRunner. Now it doesn't matter which map you go on to, whether it's the very first one or the very last one that's available. These 4 tasks or jobs or whatever you want to call it is what I usually follow as a rule, and it makes my gameplay a little bit easier and better for me to follow. Now you might do it in a different way, and that's fine. There is no real special way you should do it. Anybody can do it their own way. I, however, have found that for me, if I follow these 4 different tasks and I try to get them done as early as possible, it helps my progress throughout the game. So, like I said, it's not a fit for one size fits all, but it does help me out. So, if you're interested, I hope you are, stick around and we will discuss the 4 different things we gotta do. Okay, let's get into it. Number 4, clear obstacles. When first arriving at a new map in SnowRunner, it's always a good idea to do a bunch of scouting, of course. And when you're doing your scouting, and it just doesn't matter what kind of a truck that you use, sometimes you run into obstacles on the road that you can actually take care of right away, such as this Caterpillar CT680 that I happened to come across, and it was kind of stuck on the road, kind of covering part of it but not all of it, so it wasn't really a problem. It could be if you had to come through there with a big construction rig semi-trailer, but we just thought we'd clear it out. Now here in this example, we are in the Avonhorn A15 and we came across I don't know if it's an accident. Well, I tell you, that water carrier trailer is really beat up and the Royal BM doesn't look much better. So best thing to do there, again, I was doing some general scouting with the Avonhorn. I figure best thing to do is just to drag it away, and seeing as how we're going in that direction anyhow, we could take the Royal and pull them along the road and just kind of clear the road up a little bit there. So put it back up on its wheels because you got the crane anyhow, and while you're at it, don't just drive away and leave the trailer laying on its side, because when you're going to come along later on to pick it up and deliver it, you might not have a truck that can pick it up and put it on its wheels. So while we got the Avonhorn here with the crane, we figure we'll put it up on its wheels and then hook up to the front of the Royal BM and go and deliver him. Like I said, there again, they didn't cover the whole road and I could get by. If you had a big trailer, you might have a little bit of trouble. But it's a job that needs to be done anyhow, so why not just, while you're going by anyhow, take it and let's move it on, boys. And then with the trailer, at a later date or whenever you have time, you can come back with the proper truck. In this case, we came back with the Mercer K520 because he's got a low saddle on him, and he's quite a capable truck. I really, really like this truck, you know. Anyhow, we thought we'd come back with the Mercer and pick up this water trailer and see if we could deliver it successfully. And this way we got 2 parts of a job done, and we got the road cleared for any traffic that's going to be coming up in the near future. So the number 4 thing to do on every map in SnowRunner has got to be to clear the obstacles on the road that you can do right away. Repair bridges. When coming to a new map, one of the main things that you've got to do after clearing the obstacles on the road is repair any and all bridges that you can actually get to right away. Now, sometimes it might be difficult to get to the warehouse to get the cargo, and Sometimes it might be difficult just to get to the bridge to repair it. But when you're doing your general scouting around and you are getting a few things done, it's always wise to repair any bridge that you can do as soon as possible. Now, this particular bridge that we got here, I was able to do right at the beginning because I was able to still move around in the short area where I was working. So I was able to repair this bridge and extend my route to have a little bit more highway to work with. But back in Quebec, there was a few main bridges, as this example here shows, where the main artery ran through most of the map in Harbor and Lake Riviere. And once you got that highway built, as you can see here, some of them took 2 stages, some of them took 1, and there were, I believe, if I remember correctly, 3 or 4 different areas that needed to be repaired. But once they were all repaired, you had access to almost the whole map. Now, while you were doing the repairing, of course, you had to travel through a lot of little detours and back routes, and but laying the groundwork, doing the extra work, getting the bridges repaired is gonna just get everything ready for later on in that particular map once you get to the more difficult parts of the job. So getting the bridges built gives you more and better access. So something that you should keep in mind. I think we're gonna keep that as a number 3 top priority as we're fixing another section of that same old piece of highway that I was talking to you about in Quebec. I do believe that this here piece was the last section and that joined everything together. Like I said, it was a lot of fun doing it, but once I got this part all done, it gave me access to the rest of the map much more easily than I had before. Number 2, clear land and rock slides. When coming to a new map, the number 2 thing that I would be doing would be clearing all the rock slides and the landslides that I could get to. Now, of course, you can't always get to them right away, but this one happened to be on the main artery. And when I first got there, I was able to get the service spare parts and 1 pallet of cement, pick it up with the Chimera, and come over and clear that one. Now that was the southern landslide, I believe, and on that same artery there was another one in the north, the northern landslide, which needed some concrete blocks and service spare parts. And as luck would have it, I just so happened to have a warehouse close by that I was able to access to go and clear these slides. Now, not all landslides and rock slides are created equal, as you might know. In SnowRunner, you've got to expect the unexpected. And sometimes you come up against a rock slide that's a little bit more difficult, as you've got to drive through deep snow and canyons, and you got to take some unforeseen detours just to try and get to it. But sometimes these here rock slides, they're pretty important, and sometimes they're the best route, the best option to a specific task. So I always think it's best just to get some of these here out of the way, and then that way you have a little bit more room. Now sometimes, of course, the overfed, he likes to make it difficult on himself. Now I don't know why he has to take that big trailer in through here, but we did have our Avonhorn A15 sitting on the corner that we could winch the trailer to and use them as a little buddy truck or rescue truck to help me get around the corner. Well, we had to do it one way or another because there was a rock slide up here that had to be cleared. Now, of course, I could have put one load on the Avonhorn, drove it up here, and then put the other load on the Avonhorn and drove it up. But you know, sometimes every once in a while we like to make it difficult on ourselves, as well as some other people do too, which is okay, because that's where some of the fun is. So, but clearing rock slides and landslides, definitely an important thing to do. And the number one thing to do on every map in SnowRunner is reach the watchtowers. I've noticed that over the many hours of gameplay that I've put in, that my playing has changed into wanting to get to the watchtowers first. Now, reaching the watchtower as we're doing here in our Avonhorn A15 will do a lot of things for you. One of the main things, or one of the cool things that I like, is the cutscene that you get after that gives you a little bit of a show of what the area is going to look like. I think it's kind of cool. And the other things that it does for you is sometimes it'll unlock certain jobs or tasks. It also unlocks upgrades. Not always, but sometimes. But I keep coming back to that cutscene as we are arriving at a watchtower here in our Chimera in Austria. We get to see some beautiful countryside as we have the camera pan around to the outside here. Shortly. But best of all, when you reach the watchtowers, as seen here in our Avonhorn A15, you uncover a large area of the mini-map. Then that way you'll be able to see what's where and how to get there. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you back at Opaveg Gaming again real soon. Until then, you've been listening to the Opafed.